The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 17th day of November 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis and pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman, she's Teray Tall, and we'll have a news break from Simone Vaughn a bit later. Happy Monday to you, T. How are you?
Happy Monday. I'm doing great. I had a wonderful weekend.
What'd you do?
What did you say?
Did you have a good weekend? What did you do?
Well, I was out of town for most of it, but I came back on Sunday and I went to the Tate Modern and I saw the Nigerian modernist exhibition, and it was great. It was a nice way to combat the fact that it's now dark at 3 p.m. in London and in the UK. So yeah, no, that was great.
Huh. Did you forgive my ignorance, but I saw some people last week talking about seeing the northern lights in parts of the U.S. Did you see like the northern lights over there?
You know, I kind of did actually. Like, yeah, I kind of saw a little bit, but we'll probably see more of it closer to December and January. And apparently they're supposed to be really, really like luminescent in the next couple months, and particularly in 2026.
All right. Interesting. Because, you know, something about the northern lights makes me feel like we're living in, what's that place? What's those 3 countries called? Scandinavia.
Yes, good. Yes, the Nordic countries. Yes.
Nordic countries, yeah. That's what it made me feel. I'm like, okay, so we living up in the Scandinavian countries. I got you. Well, anyway, we are glad that you had a great weekend. Kenton Trott says, good morning, TDH family. Happy, magnificent Monday, and a happy, magnificent Monday to you as well, Kenton Trott. Hope all is well with you, good brother. And folks, if you're rocking with us this morning, whatever platform you're streaming with us on, give us a love, like, share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Christopher Bean on from Beyond Inclusion. We're going to be discussing Passport to Possibilities. I absolutely, Teray, love this program. So I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
You know what else I love, Jamal? I love your background. Talk to us about it. What's going on?
I'm gonna tell you about that in a second. Don't worry about it. I like that you recognize real though. But the daily play is going to be Bermuda trivia today. So this is from volume 2, folks. It's from volume 2. I'll leave it at that. But folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow Beyond the Mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. So yeah, it's Christmas time, T. Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know. Big up to Pops and making sure that everyone represents, you know, because if it came in October, it would have been here as well.
Oh, well, that's fine, because remember you had Jingle Bells on for Halloween?
That's right.
It runs in the family, I think, so I think it's fine.
Absolutely it does. So, Keith, my business partner, sent me something the other day. Says, if you all don't want to hear Christmas music right now, then you should create some Thanksgiving bangers, you know? Just saying. You know, I said, Keith, you have a point. But folks, let's jump into the discussion because it's a very I guess, troubling discussion we need to have. And the daily discussion is brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure. And Kenton Trot says, I agree. Christmas is here. I agree with you. Absolutely. You got your tree up or what, Kenton? Got your tree up? But yeah, let's get into it, because there's some things that happen in our small community that we probably don't give enough attention to. And one of those things, folks, is that of violence. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've never really been a person who's shared videos of violence, unless it's like wrestling or something, like boxing or something that's, managed, I guess, let's say. Is managed the right word?
Yeah, I mean, it's organized. It's organized violence. You know what I mean?
Yes, something like that. But that said, I'll just give you the question, then we can give you some background. But what are your thoughts on sharing violence in our community? What are your thoughts on sharing violence in our community? And do you believe we are okay with violence when men are the victims? So what are we talking about? Well, on Saturday, I landed in Bermuda. And the first thing I saw when I went on to social media was a video of looked like a woman and a man in an altercation. And
Mhm.
the woman then proceeded to, slap the living daylights out of the man. I'm just going to say what it looked like.
Yep.
The man then stood up and they, continued having a conversation. And then she used the other hand and did again she stumbled and then took a chair. Now I'm going to put in context. That's what we saw on video. That's all we saw. There are things that likely happened before and after, but there was some concerning things that have been said about this incident, right? Some people I've seen in comments saying, oh, that's just a short clip. You don't know what else happened. Well, unfortunately, many of us make our judgments based on what we see, right? And what we saw, we just can't condone it. Now, if this gentleman is guilty of some bigger crime, then yes, he should be prosecuted as well. But I think what we should not be doing, in my personal opinion, is sharing that kind of behavior as if it's okay. Because one of the most disturbing things I saw is, oh, you all don't know the whole story. And I just truly believe if the victim was a woman and the man was the perpetrator, we probably wouldn't be asking that question. At the end of the day, no one should be putting hands on no one. We need to be very clear about that. So again, audience, you may feel differently from me, and I'm okay with that. But what are your thoughts on the sharing of this violence in our community? If you see something or is sharing that, like what are you doing it for? Because I can talk about it with you without sharing it, right?
Yeah.
But also, do you believe we are okay with violence when men are the victims? And Tori, let me just add this real quickly, because obviously I know you probably have a lot to say on this, but I just want to say this here. Personally, I believe we've always been okay with violence against men. And I've said, I'll never forget, in 2007, Bermudians Against the Draft court case. Was it 7? Yeah, I think it was 7, Supreme Court. And no, it wasn't 7. It was one of the cases after. But I said to Larry Marshall Sr. at the time, I said, this has nothing to do with anything but people don't value black males in Bermuda. And I'll tell you what I said. If this same thing that came out in court, our lawyer exposed that sexual abuse happened within the organization, and no one was in uproar, no one cared, like the community was silent. And I said, I guarantee you, if this happened in a private institution in Bermuda, there'll be conversations. What happened within 3 months? A teacher from a private institution. Yep, with a young girl. And people had opinions about it. It told me a lot about how we feel when males, especially black males at that time, where gun violence was just starting, how we felt about them being victims of violence. And we can see how the reaction is when there's a shooting, when it's black male on black male. We get angry for a minute, and then soon we forget about it. So do we have that problem as well? So you take it away. I know you've got it.
I mean, well, I think first I want to get to a comment from Charles H. Jeffers a second. He says, wait, was that video real? I thought it was something AI generated.
I wish it were AI generated, Charles. Here's the thing why you know it's not AI generated. AI doesn't have the Bermudian accent down yet. And I'm not being funny.
Mm.
But I wish it were AI generated.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight that question because I think it really pins down the moment in time where we're in, where it's like, what is real, what is not real. And we're at the point now where people can quite literally not tell the difference. And I think that's important for this conversation, because first, my thoughts about sharing violence in our community, I think it's tough because we share everything else. We share our lives on the internet, and we share videos of each other, selfies. So I think right now our ecosystem is to share. But I think it's a problem in Bermuda where we're sharing all of the wrong things. But particularly, I was thinking about the person who was recording this as a bystander who didn't try to intervene or didn't seem to intervene or maybe couldn't. And I think we're primed to think about what's happening in front of us. So the man and the woman who's assaulting the man, but we're not thinking about the person who's recording it instead of intervening. And to me, that is a sign of the times, because like, okay, we're living more in an internet space than we are in reality. And to me, that's a problem. And I think that is why this type of behavior that is so terrible can be platformed and pedalized. But to your second question about, do I think we're okay with violence when men are the victims? I think there's something to be said about stereotypes, because point blank period, men are just less likely to come forward with stories of violence, particularly when it's from their partner, or from a woman, because it maps onto stereotypes of, okay, men have to be strong, men are supposed to be the ones who are stronger than women. So I don't think that it's a separate conversation, right? Violence against women versus violence against men. I think it's the same conversation, but different manifestations. But at the same time, I think Bermudians in particular have this macho culture of like, okay, men have to be strong. And when they're not, it's like there's shame, there's guilt. So I do think that different alarms are sounded when it's a man who's the victim versus when it's a woman. And I think that that's a problem, a really, really big problem, because I was also looking at the people who are making this a joke and making this kind of light work. And I saw a gender divide in that too, right? Like I saw men being like, oh, she must beat up her boyfriend, and oh, this is a joke. And I'm like, aha, okay. So quite literally, if another man can look at another man being hurt and like assaulted and make a joke out of it, to me that's deeper than, oh, this is how I feel. This is a deep culturally embedded message that men are supposed to be the ones in power, and when they're not, it's, oh, ha 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 ha, like it's a joke. And I think that is a problem, and that maps onto what you were saying earlier about how, okay, what would the conversation be if this was a young girl who was sexually abused? Like I don't think we take any of it seriously enough, or as serious as we should. But particularly, there's some work to do for men and by men, I think, because all the people that I've spoken to who are women, they're like, this is terrible. And correct me if I'm wrong, like if you've spoken to women who are also treating this as a joke. But I think men have a lot of work to do about deconstructing their masculinity and their strength, right? And what that looks like.
I just want to stop because I'm glad you highlighted that. I want people to really, really understand what you said just now. Because folks, I'm a male. We are probably the most guilty of like, what, this guy let this girl do this and that like, seriously.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize that, because what's it called? Masculinity?
Yeah, toxic masculinity.
That's it, Teray. See, that's why you have to work with smart people. But it's real. It's real, because at the end of the day, there's these comments, Teray, where, what? He's letting her do that. But anytime the camera wasn't rolling and he would have assaulted her back, you know how that would have went. So
Exactly.
it's not about him not. It's really about us being adult and adult enough to respect each other to say and remove ourselves from situations. Now, again, I don't know the story. I don't need to know the story. It's like when people say, "Well, slave." I wasn't born during the transatlantic slave trade, but I didn't need to be there to know it was wrong. At the end of the day, whatever led to it is neither here or there for me at this time because what we witnessed could have been handled in other ways. You want to go to some comments, Teray?
I do. So, Dr. Anthony Richardson says, not in favor of sharing violence, but in Western culture, we are bombarded by it every day. Men have traditionally, for centuries, been associated with violence. Society has simply gotten used to violence being associated with men. In every war, men are at the forefront of world wars as the main combatants. Kenton Trott says, as a community, we need to realize that most, if not all of us, need therapy. I see it daily that people don't know how to manage and deal with anger. This is it, Jamal. This is it. Because as I was watching that video, like, firstly, I wasn't surprised by it. Like, I'll put my hand up right now and say, like, that type of hostility, that type of violence and manifestation of anger did not surprise me because I think that Bermudians are emotionally underdeveloped. And this isn't a judgment. I'm not talking down on anyone because I can be this way too. But I think we have to have a serious conversation about therapy and about processing our emotions because to me, anger is a transitory emotion. You're angry and then you're disappointed. You're angry and then you're devastated. You're angry and then you feel rejected or betrayed or whatever. And I think Bermudians tend to just be stuck in this cycle of anger, but because we don't have the language to process whatever's happening, we only stay there and then we go and slap people up or we go and drink alcohol or smoke weed or any kind of like escapist tendency that is available, we would do it. And I think that's a problem. But therapy isn't accessible to all, right? We live in Bermuda where everything is expensive, therapy is expensive, but you don't have to go and talk to a professional. You can go and talk to your mate. Dr. Craig Simmons came on 2 weeks ago and said men don't tell each other that they love each other.
Yeah.
They don't hold hands. They don't kiss. They don't do anything. And I'm like, me and my girlfriends, like my friends, people look at us and like, are you guys into each other? And we're like, no, we love each other, right? Like we're very comfortable sharing and expressing and unloading emotionally. And I think men need to start doing that with other men because like it's just getting out of hand now.
Yeah, I want to go to Angeline Butler because she says real talk to Ray, emotionally underdeveloped. And you said a lot just now, but again, I want people to understand sometimes reality is a tough pill to swallow. And what Teray is saying, and all she said just now is we don't know how to confront tough conversations and issues in our community. And as you know, one of the quotes in my book is that there are so many forms of therapy. Some people go to counselors.
Yes.
Some people go to friends. Some people go to a bar. But the kind of therapy we choose says a lot about who we are. Right. And so I mean, and Teray, you know, we've had conversations, but I believe everyone should have a therapist, no matter where you're at in your life, because it's necessary. Now, I want to touch on one more thing you said. My concern with therapy, though, and I understand that everyone has to make a living, it's the access part.
Yes.
That's my biggest concern with therapy, because while I know you said we have friends, honestly, I think we have to be careful with that as well, because at the end of the day, I don't like to give people advice when I don't consider myself an expert at stuff. But what I will do is listen to them. I will give them my ear.
And that can go a long way, you know, Jamal. That can go a long way because sometimes people don't need advice. They just need Jamal to say, you know what, brother, I hear you. That sucks. And you validate their reality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be any type of, oh, here's what X says about this and yada, yada, yada. Like you can just say, I hear you, I see you, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, you are loved. Simon Sinek has this thing, the 7-minute rule, where it says, whenever somebody is in distress, all it takes is 7 minutes of a conversation for them to be regulated.
Mm.
So the next time you're upset, ask your friend, do you have 7 minutes to talk to me? You know, can I send you a 7 minute voice note? Because even the emotional unloading of something is helpful. But Jamal, I'm mindful that this conversation is about men. So I want to ask you and the audience out there who is a man, I'd be interested in what Chris says. Is like, do you think that you are able to share an emotional load with your brethren or with your guy friends? Like, what is that like?
I do. I mean, I think, and I always have a one person among my friend group who always says, you know, hey, bud, love you guys. You know, there's always that one person. Now, not
Yes.
everyone shares emotions like that. But I think for me, I've become more so like that probably over the last few years. I was not always like that because I just didn't come from a family where we showed or expressed love like that. I think we express love through, you know, our actions rather than the words and actually showing a hug, you know, giving a hug and so on. But I don't see it. I didn't grow up seeing it. You know, I didn't, you know, it was the neighborhood I grew up in. That wasn't it. It was feminine energy, you know. I think Craig Simmons touched on it. It wasn't like you didn't do it. Now for me, now I hug my boys. It was a video I saw. I think it was the NBA named their top 75 players of all time. And Allen Iverson went around and he didn't just dap up these players. This brother pulled these brothers in. It was Dwayne Wade in particular. Hugged this brother. They weren't saying anything, just love.
Yes.
And it was probably, Allen Iverson was looked at as the problem child in the league, the Doug. He changed the game, the way they dressed, with a hair. He was that player, right? But that was such a beautiful moment for me because it showed people, no matter how hard you think this guy is, what he's understood, and if you read his book, I mean, I have it, I haven't started reading it yet, but I've seen some interviews of him speaking about it. This guy has, on his journey, understood where he went wrong. And at this point, it's like, yo, it's just love going forward. So as a man, I realize I talk to my closest friends more than ever for no other reason than we're getting older now, right? And it's just consciously, we just do it. Like I'll hit my friend up like, hey man, how's your mom doing? Didn't do that before. That's not something we did. So sorry, I don't think it was normal for me. I don't think it was normal, the environment I grew up in. But I think it's something as I've gotten older, yes, I have gotten to that space.
Good.
But I'd like to hear from some more gents in the audience.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to hear that. But you've got anything for you? Real quickly, just want to give a shout out to Titan Express and Secure for ensuring we can have these important community conversations. Go ahead, T. Sorry.
Charles H. Jeffers II says, funny enough, I had dinner with two of my friends on Saturday night, and I made it a point to tell them both before we separated that I love them. I don't think it made them uncomfortable. I love this, but quite honestly, I think you and Charles are unicorns in this sense. You know, I think you're both very emotionally developed and mature because I don't really see this elsewhere. And I think my generation should be taking cues from you guys who have no problem telling their friends, yeah, bro, I love you, yada, 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 because Gen Z, you know, we're all about mental health and awareness. But I think there's a part of that isn't fully fleshed out, which is how do we reconcile masculinity with what you labeled before as emotions, which I think most people still do see as feminine. So hopefully young men are listening and taking cues from you and Charles, honestly. Yeah. But Manuela John says, the thing with giving advice is that when things do not go as your friend says, the person may turn on you. I mean, perhaps, but I think, you know, if you never risk disappointment, then you just accept it. Like disappointment, I think, is a byproduct of a life with bold and vulnerable moves. So I would say it's worth the cost. Renee Simmons says, nothing wrong with sharing genuine true love, especially with men. They hurt too. Absolutely. And I think women do share genuine true love with men. In fact, I think men often kind of delegate emotional responsibility to women because they haven't been taught or enabled, in that way, whereas women are just socialized to be in tune with their emotions.
I want to touch on something as well, because Manuela Jones said earlier, my concern, as said, is that with the crowd that is present, there's no one intervening, no matter who is wrong. And there was a video shared on Everything Georgia. Wherever I live, I follow like the social medias in that space for news. And it was a guy recording some young man breaking into a car. And he was like, oh man, what should I do? What should I do? And people are writing under, oh, you're just doing this for clout. You should have stopped the person or honked your horn. And then there were other people saying, nah, these YNs, which I'm not going to say what it means. I just found out myself because I'm old apparently. But
yes,
YNs, as it said, folks, you could figure it out. These YNs have guns. So why would you intervene? It's just a car theft, like whatever. So I don't know how you feel, Teray, but when people question why I didn't intervene, I'm iffy right now because young people are different. Like before you intervene, it was respect. Now it's like, who the bleep are you? And now your safety is in jeopardy. So it's a tough thing. Like, who's to say the person recording that specific incident was not somebody who was intimidated by the aggressor?
Probably. I mean, how could you not be intimidated by the aggressor in Bermuda's case, right? Like, I think Manuela John, and you were right. And the police actually, in the UK at least, and I know in Canada and in some places in New York, they advise you to record. They say this is also, your phone can be helpful. It's like national security because it's evidence. So I think it's a balance, right? Like, because you're right, these YNs are not, they're nothing to play with. Like, it's a different breed. So I think you just have to use discernment about the situation and evaluate, what is how can I help? Is it by documenting? Is it by intervening? But I still do think in Bermuda, we just have a culture of too much documenting and not enough intervening, right? So I think in Bermuda's context, there's a lot of work to do around bystander culture because we just watch and then we're like, oh, did you see that? You know what I mean? Like there's a huge mechanism of gossip. So I think in Bermuda, yes, recording can be helpful, but most times I think people should be intervening, quite frankly. Like, I didn't even hear anyone say anything. Hey, what's going on? It looked like a very isolated area. So like that, in that case, I would have liked to see at least some like, what are you doing? Like, this is wrong. Because in my eyes, like the aggressor was just allowed to dominate entirely. And that was really, really frustrating.
Let's go through the final few comments real quickly. Let me start with Dr. Anthony Richardson. He says, Bermudians are afraid to discuss problems with friends, fearing their info will be weaponized and shared with others. Interesting. Onion Soup says, the environment stimulates the outcome. Lack of leadership, lack of understanding our history and respecting it, lack of national identity replaced with material and hyper-individualism. And I know you had one just now, too.
Yeah, this is from Charles H. Jeffers II. He says, this is why I thought it was AI generated, as I didn't hear anyone saying stop it or trying to intervene. Anyone know either of them? No, I don't know either of them. I don't even know where it was. I saw like a business logo, but I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, it said Ashley. I don't know if that's the furniture joint, but could have been a warehouse. But look, folks, I don't want to tell people what to do, but sharing the video is very different from recording it. Recording it could be very helpful. Sharing it, not as much. Hope that makes sense. As Teray just mentioned, recording could help with the case. Sharing it, not so much.
Yeah.
You can create bias for a jury and the like, as we've heard before. All right, folks, let's give some thanks to Titan Express and Secure. Looking forward, got a great conversation coming up with Christopher Bean, Passport to Possibilities. Folks, if you have not seen any of the information regarding this initiative, you have missed out. Follow Beyond Inclusion on Instagram so you can check it out. But we're going to have this conversation with him right after the news break. But let's give some love to Titan Express and Secure. And also, whatever you're streaming, if you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter X, please make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, family, colleagues. This, to me, is a very important community conversation for a Monday. So please make sure you're sharing it with your people.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
All right, let's go to Simone Vaughn for your Monday morning Daily Hour News Break.
Good morning, Bermuda. Today's news is brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Since 1984, Bermuda has counted on People's Pharmacy. 4 decades of care, service, and heart. Here's to 41 years of growing together. Starting off today's news, early on Saturday, November 15th, 2025, a car and a minibus collided on South Road near the Southampton Princess after the car slowed for road construction and the minibus struck it from behind. A female passenger from the car was taken to the hospital with potentially serious injuries, and the minibus driver was arrested on suspicion of impaired driving. Traffic diversions were set up in the area, and police are asking witnesses to contact them at 211. Next in the news today, Global Entrepreneurship Week kicks off today, November 17th, with the Wave of Opportunity Pitch Competition at the Hamilton Princess. The event will be hosted by Jamel Hartman, media consultant and entrepreneur, co-founder of Bermuda Communications Group. The pitch competition will be awarding 5 entrepreneurs up to $25,000. Events and workshops will continue throughout the week with notable guest speakers Mark Wiles and Pinky Cole. Global Entrepreneurship Week exists to celebrate, inspire, mentor, and engage the public by highlighting innovators and job creators who launch startups that fuel ideas, economic growth, and human welfare. Continuing with our news for today, the government of Bermuda has appointed 3 new experts to the Sargasso Sea Commission, expanding the body to 8 commissioners and strengthening efforts to conserve the Sargasso Sea's high seas ecosystem. For over a decade, Bermuda has championed protection of this unique region under the Hamilton Declaration, which unites 10 governments and independent scientific experts in stewardship of the area. Government and commission leaders highlighted the significance of the upcoming UN BBNJ agreement set to take effect in 2026, which will allow legally binding high seas marine protected areas and position the Sargasso Sea as a pioneering site. Last in the news for today, the city of Hamilton will transform Front Street into an open-air Christmas cinema on Saturday, December 6th. Hosting a special edition of Fresh Air Films featuring The Muppet Christmas Carol at 6:30 p.m., with Bermudian Muppet creator Michael K. Frith offering opening remarks, and The Santa Claus at 8:30 p.m. Admission is free with a $25 receipt from any city business dated between November 3rd and December 6th, which also enters attendees into prize draws for a smart projector. With gates opening at 6 p.m., guests are encouraged to bring seating, enjoy food and beverages on site, and explore city shops and restaurants. The evening will also include Kahoot trivia games for children and adults, with organizers highlighting the event's role in celebrating local creativity, supporting Hamilton businesses, and creating festive community experiences. Now it's time to take a look at the forecast. For the weather today, we're looking at a high of 74 degrees and a low of 71. It will be quite windy with wind gusts reaching up to 44 miles per hour. Scattered showers are expected through the afternoon. That's all for the news break today. My name is Simone Vaughn, and thanks for tuning in.
All right, thanks so much for that, Simone. Teray, do you have a days of the year for us?
I do. Today is National International Students Day.
International Students Day.
International Students Day. And I know that I know that a lot of the audience, I know that you traveled for education. So I wanted to ask you about your favorite city that you were living in while you were an international student.
Yeah, audience, I'm interested. Where'd you all live? Me? So I was in Huntsville. And I was in
Huntsville, Alabama?
Yes, I was. And I was in Providence, Rhode Island.
Hey.
I didn't really get an education in Huntsville. That was just fun and I could say it now. That was just fun and partying. But Rhode Island, I really paid attention. I actually made honors for the first time in my life, and I started my career in radio there. I'm going to go with Rhode Island, Providence, my favorite city as an international student. What was yours, T?
My favorite city, just generally, but also as an international student, was Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto, I think I left my heart there. But there was a period where I was really considering going to Columbia in New York, because New York is also up there, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I visited the campus and everything. So New York is a close number 2, but I just love Toronto so much. It's like a cleaner New York. London can kick rocks, in my opinion. I know people love London. Bermudians love London, but I don't get the hype. Like, look at Dr. Anthony Richardson. He says London, Paris, Tampa.
Okay. Our audience, I know you all were international students. Come on, give it to us. Where else? But that's interesting. Tampa, Paris, and London, 3 completely different cities. At least London and Paris are close to one another. What I know, a lot of Bermudians went to Halifax at one point. Is that where Maya went, or did she go in Toronto?
I think Maya wasn't in Toronto for school. She went to King's, which I think is either in Halifax, or I think it's in Halifax, actually, or somewhere out there.
Philip Trott, he says Coral Gables, Florida sounds like a University of Miami guy there. Yeah.
You Miami? The U? All about the U? You know that theme? The U. Hey.
That's where the Rock went school, I think. Yeah, I think the Rock went there. Atlanta, Sherilyn Johnson. Okay, where were you going? The A. Did you go to Spelman? We've got Quito, Ecuador, says Canton Trot. Rosalind Famous says Boston, DC, Spain, Puerto Rico. So
yes, DC. Oh my goodness, DC. You know what somebody told me about DC? Somebody said DC is like Atlanta for Black people if everyone had master's degrees.
Who was I talking to yesterday? They're saying that Atlanta and DC are very similar. Wow. No,
listen,
I was talking to someone yesterday about that.
And they were like, listen, if you are 30 and you're looking for an eligible bachelor or bachelorette who is Black, go to DC, because you're going to find a Black person with a master's degree or a doctorate. They say it's the same population of Black people, but those Black people have master's degrees.
Oh.
Get on it.
All right, folks, heading to DC. Charles said Atlanta. He said, my favorite city as an international student was Atlanta. I loved it so much that I stayed for almost 25 years. Atlanta is home. Melbourne, Florida for high school, said Phil. We've got Ellen Kate Horton says Wilberforce, Kent, both in Ohio, New Jersey, and Toronto. Okay.
Hey, those are some great picks.
We've got Antonio Roberts says Providence, Rhode Island. Definitely would do it again. Yeah, I see another Providence person into his house. Yeah, Providence. What's up, man? She says, clarification, Rosalind, Boston was not my fave. Well, probably too cold up there for you. But all right, folks, keep them coming. We have to take a break because we've got a very important guest for a very important conversation. Folks, do me a favor. Share this conversation. This is one of the coolest conversations we're going to have. And that's no disrespect or shit to Minister Alexa Lightbourne, who's coming tomorrow, and the others following that. I'm just saying this concept of what they're doing is so cool. So make sure you share it with your friends, family, colleagues. We're going to take this quick break and be back after this.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
At HSBC, how we do business in our community is as important to us as what we do for our community.
We are here at Hungary Bay with HSBC today. We're planted over 500 mangroves using 2 different methods. This work is very vital for our mangrove ecosystem and would not be possible without HSBC's generous support.
I am super happy that we have a team here of colleagues helping us replant some of the mangroves. Mangroves are critical for preserving coastal nature, and with recent hurricanes they have been taken away by waves. By replanting them, we are really helping nature be at its best.
Thank you so much for HSBC for sponsoring the Microforest Project, but by extension, the Hungary Bay Restoration Project.
Thank you to all of the charities, corporate partners, and HSBC volunteers for your commitment to our community.
SCARS stands for Saving Children and Revealing Secrets, and we are a Bermuda nonprofit organization whose mission is to reduce the risk of child sexual abuse and to be an advocate and a voice for children who've been sexually molested, as well as their affected family. New media like the Daily Hour is really important in partnering with organizations like SCARS. It's another platform for us for awareness. There can be no radio silence as it relates to child sexual abuse, and we need as many initiatives as we can get. We need to keep this message alive. In terms of us and the work that we do, live engagement is good because it allows the audience to ask questions, to make comments, even to provide us with encouragement and support. What I love about the live engagement when SCARS is being interviewed by Jamel is just this feeling of safety, this feeling that he gets it. He cares about children. It's a connection.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamel Hartman here, Teray Tull. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Wells Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis and pump through the radio areas on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. Folks, do not forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our parts, continue to improve our community. Forgot to mention, Teray, where's the bag?
Oh, it's right here.
So, folks, we forgot to mention, every day this week, we're going to be giving away a prize for those who filled out the survey. So, Teray, shake the bag, show them, like, she's got some names in there, and then tomorrow is going to be Maya, and then Wednesday is going to be Teo or Teray, and then Mia, and then myself. So, folks, you want to rock, make sure you're tuned in. So, if your name's called, you get the winnings, all right? So, Teray is going to be giving you something away, but we've got a very special guest that we're going to bring in right now for a very special conversation. So let's give a warm TDH welcome to Christopher Bean on From Beyond Inclusion. We're talking Passport to Possibilities. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Daily Hour family.
First off, Chris, man, our apologies that we're a bit behind. Teray talks a lot.
That's no problem. I was enjoying the conversation.
You know what, Jamel, since you said that, Chris, do you have any thoughts? Because Chris is a mental health professional as well, by the way. So, like, his perspective would be really interesting. Tell us.
Well, I definitely agreed with a lot of the different ideas that you guys brought up, especially some of the comments that were made. I think that us as men, especially in our generation, the only time we do, become vulnerable and express emotions is when we go out for drinks or anything of that nature, but it's fleeting. It's in that moment, and then we don't ever talk about it again. So I think conversations like this are very helpful to bring it to the forefront public discourse in that sense, right?
You know what's interesting, Chris? You saying that. I didn't even consider that when men drink and are under the influence, they're more likely to actually share how they feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a problem in itself, right? Like that's an issue that we have to not be ourselves to express feelings. That's a problem in itself. Yeah. But
definitely.
And thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your patience this morning. Obviously, like I said, I appreciate being able to have these discussions on this platform, but we're also happy and grateful that yourself and your colleagues at Beyond Inclusion trust us to have today's conversation. But just for those who may not know, just remind people about what Beyond Inclusion Bermuda actually is and how the Passport to Possibilities campaign came to life.
Of course. So Beyond Inclusion is a registered charity. Basically, we provide meaningful engagement opportunities and recreational opportunities for individuals with support needs, ensuring that they're inclusive. The idea is, to really go beyond inclusion, and we highlight this in various different ways. I believe that you've probably seen a couple of our different activities and events that we post and we put on to make sure that they're inclusive. For example, one of them was our trunk or treat to highlight trick-or-treating and make it accessible for all. In the sense that a lot of times we go about our day and we don't really recognize the barriers that, are in everyday life. And we want to bring that to the forefront and make it so that it's not necessarily just an action, but it's a way of life.
Indeed.
Absolutely. And I mean, Chris, you're getting a lot of love in the comments. Philip Trott says, "What up, Chris?" Beyond Inclusion is in the comments. And Miss Ellen K. says, "I love this young man." Somerset.
Somerset.
Exactly. So, Chris, the Passport to Possibilities campaign is trying to raise $40,000 to send 8 adults to Orlando. Why is leisure travel such an important part of inclusion and empowerment with people who have disabilities?
Yeah, so that was something big that was flagged, especially, so Beyond Inclusion has been operating for roughly, I want to say, 2025? So it's been roughly 2 years or so, about 1 year before our full charitable status. And we've recognized that a lot of times the only opportunities people have to, travel overseas, or individuals with support needs, our participants, is when it's medical related. And that shouldn't necessarily be the case. There's a lot of financial constraints and barriers to recreational travel in that sense. So whereas all of the money that is typically generated from the household has to be allocated to medical expenses and support. So we, created this initiative to basically provide that opportunity for individuals who are only able to typically travel when it's, to a hospital or for medical reasons. Also, in the same time, giving their support person some respite care in that sense as well. I think that it's very important for the participants to see what inclusive activities look like. So a couple of the different places that we're going to be visiting when we go overseas embody this idea of inclusive and accessibility. So we want to show them how it looks, and also, take back some of these ideas and bring them back to Bermuda as well.
Wow. I mean, Jamal and I started a conversation earlier talking about access to therapy, but I mean, access to leisure travel is so important. Bermudians love to travel, but if you're only traveling for medical reasons, this is so, so important. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all your colleagues at Beyond Inclusion, because not only is this super creative, but it's super necessary.
Definitely.
So can you tell us next how it works? Like, how can people buy a passport?
Yes, so there's a couple of different ways. as you guys see, we've gone pretty hard on our marketing and pushing out this message to make sure that we get everybody involved. So you can get involved as an individual or a community partner. Our overall goal is to raise 400 passports, each priced at $100 per passport. Right now, we're currently, I want to say, a little bit past the halfway mark or just at the beginning of it. As an individual, you can donate an individual passport. Like I said, it's $100 and you could go up to $900. So that's 9 passports. We're also looking for corporate sponsorship or donors, any businesses or anything of that nature. And we have that listed in a couple of different packages and different tiers as well. So basically, when you donate to us, what we provide back to you is a digital copy of a passport that has the amount of passports that you basically sponsored, your name, and different other information so that you can post on your social media to spread the awareness. And if you're a business that donates, then we have your brand logo and different things of that nature. And you also get a shout out across all of our social media platforms to say that you supported this important initiative.
Absolutely, Chris. And Beyond Inclusion has sponsorship levels listed. There's a bronze title and a title sponsor. Talk about those opportunities that are available for community partners and businesses who want to support even more than you just did.
Definitely. So while we're not necessarily going to put any limit on the amount of support that you want to give, like I said, so the individual and community partners, that typically ranges from $100 to $900 roughly. Then we get into more so of those platinum passport partners, which are typically you're looking at the businesses or the corporate donors. So the bronze one is the fundamental, is the beginning, and that's 10 passports priced at $1,000 each. Then we move on to the silver. So the silver is 2,500 passports. $2,500. And that is going to give you 25 passports. The next one that we're going into is the gold partner, which is $5,000, and that's going to give you 50 passports. And then it's the platinum partner, which is $7,500, and that's going to give you 75 passports. So we have 4 different levels, basically, in which somebody can donate. We have another opportunity as well, which is our title sponsor. And there's only one available, and that's basically a $10,000 donation. So if anybody is interested in that, feel free to reach out. I'll definitely tag in the number that you could contact, as well as our website and our email address. So that's beyondinclusionbda@gmail.com. That, once again, beyondinclusionbda@gmail.com.
Real quickly, just audience, if you have any questions or comments for Chris, please send them through. I'm absolutely loving whoever came up with this and the purpose of it, because as you were talking earlier, it hadn't hit me that some people their only travel is for medical purposes, right? That wasn't a thought. Honestly, I just didn't consider it. And you think that I could only imagine that airplanes, just knowing that they're going to a place that they might not even like going for this medical, it may be something that they're not comfortable with. So it could change their life to make it seem like, oh, going on an airplane actually isn't a bad thing. Because last time I went to this place and had a great time. So I'm thinking of the mental aspect long term for this, and you saying that. And again, I'm not ashamed to say I hadn't considered that. Like I hope that people are taking that in and understanding what they're contributing to, because I could tell you, we're probably going to be doing it, not just the Daily Hour, but BCG as well, maybe Bermuda Trivia, but we definitely want to support this initiative. This is the kind of empowerment that our community needs. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm like, wow.
No, me too. Like this is such great work. And Suzanne Ingham says, "I love you, Chris. You are awesome. You are doing an amazing work and job." And you literally are. Like the concept of a passport is so powerful because it's exactly what Jamal was alluding to. You can go places, open new opportunities, have new associations with the plane. So final one for me, Chris. Beyond Inclusion is on a mission to create an inclusive community in Bermuda where individuals with support needs can actively participate in society. What
Yes.
impact do you hope that this trip will have on the participants, both personally, but also in the wider Bermudian community when they return?
So I think that there was, or I believe there is some importance to the way that we definitely, I'm not too sure if you guys saw the video that we put out, but there is some importance as to why we put it out that way. In a sense, we want to ensure that the voices of our participants are being heard. Ultimately, there's not a lot of recreational activity in Bermuda that is, alone, but also that is inclusive as well and accessible. We want to kind of give this opportunity to our participants so they can firsthand see what that looks like. Ultimately, the overall goal is to take back some of these things or these ideas and apply them to Bermuda in different ways that we can. Going forward, so this is a small group, I want to say. This is a pilot program in that sense. We look to expand this going forward, kind of broadening it and allowing more participants to come up because overall, this is a great initiative that shouldn't be reserved just to 8, participants in that sense. So over time, we want to raise more awareness. When we come back to Bermuda, we want to share the stories and, basically get the participants to explain how they felt on that trip. And then utilize that information to take this and make it bigger and better for next year. So this is going to be an ongoing thing that we're hoping to do.
Antonio Roberts is asking, what's the deadline for this initiative?
Okay, so I know that we do have a couple of benchmarks that we do want to hit, and I will say that we are on go with our current benchmark. So we are hoping to get all the funding in by December 31st at the latest. So that's 100%. But we'll keep you posted. If you guys want to know what our progress is, I'll suggest that you follow us on our Instagram. We, post updates on there, as well as just other, information about inclusion and why it is so important for us to adapt it in Bermuda or have it in Bermuda.
Indeed. Bassett says, great interview. This is an amazing initiative. Well done, Beyond Inclusion.
Yes.
Chris, for those inspired by the mission, what's the best way to get involved, whether through donations, volunteering, or spreading the word about passports to possibilities? Because there are some who may want to, I may have suitcases I can donate, but I don't have the cash.
Yeah. So we are looking at different ways that people can donate. Not necessarily has to be just, in the financial capacity. I will say reach out to us via email. If you do want to donate something like suitcases, that's a great idea because, some of our participants might not necessarily have suitcases in that sense, right? So just reaching out, getting in a conversation with either myself or Brianna or Rebecca, who are the founders. And, we can have a sit down and talk about how you can get involved. I do know that we also run a couple of different programs as well. Aside from the Passport to Possibilities initiative, in which we are actively seeking volunteers to help facilitate those programs. And also the different events that we do put on, we also look for volunteers to help facilitate and man those events as well.
Alrighty. Last question from the audience. Let's go to Onion Soup says, a recent inclusive recreational activity example would include taking a group to their first World Cup qualifiers at home at Nationals. These are some barriers and bubbles Bermuda does not think of, and I agree, guilty. Like I accountable. I agree, because it's just not something that crossed the mind. And I'm glad, because these are the kind of things that will help break the barriers, not just doing it, but having the conversations about doing it, so that we're more aware. Antonio Roberts is asking, are there any other ways that offices and schools can support, like a grub day or something similar?
Yes. So there definitely are. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So we're asking businesses to obviously, sponsor passports. We're also looking at different creative ways. For example, like the grub days, those are very helpful. We're looking at alternative initiatives, anything of that nature. For example, media outlets like yourself, if they want to reach out, have us on their show so that we could spread this message and get the word out. That's also very important. So if you know somebody that, wants to, get involved or help contribute to this initiative, please, give them our email, or, you can just look us up online at Beyond Inclusion as well, and get in contact with us. Let's have a conversation about how we can make this happen, because this is very important and something that's dear to my heart as well. So,
Chris, this has been amazing. Thank you to yourself and your colleagues at Beyond Inclusion. We are definitely, I know we were not able to participate in was it Trunk or Treat? We weren't able to, participate in that, but keep them coming, because I think, this team that we have is very much interested in, growing beyond the mic and making a difference. So we're excited to, support, partner these initiatives as need be and as we're able. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, I love the name Beyond Inclusion. As someone said once, it's not just about inviting people to the party, but inviting them to dance as well. I love that. I love that. Before you head out, I know you've been telling people to follow Beyond Inclusion Instagram. That's where I first saw the video. What is the Instagram handle?
Let me just double check.
I think it was
changed.
It was at Beyond Inclusion, I think.
Yeah, it is, but there's two.
Right. Was it not Beyond Inclusion BDA?
You see, that's why I just want to make
that's
sure.
Right, because here we go.
Beyond Inclusion BDA. Thank you.
And the reason I actually put it on the spot, because I'm like, is it Beyond Inclusion or Beyond Inclusion BDA? And I just want to make sure people follow the right one.
Yes. Exactly. That's important.
That's important. We want to make sure people are not going to some other one and social media. But thank you so much for this conversation. Again,
thank you for having us.
Do not be a stranger. If there's anything we can communicate and engage our audience on that you guys have coming up, please just reach out. But until next time, have a wonderful day and stay well, Chris.
All right. Thank you. You as well.
All right. Christopher Beam, Beyond Inclusion. Folks, if you appreciated that conversation, do us a huge favor, honestly. Please, and I say this not from my ego or to raise, but share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We need as many people supporting initiatives like this as possible. This is something that can change not just their lives, but to change the way we as a community see people who may be different from us. Please share it. Make sure everyone you know. And Beyond Inclusion BA says, thank you, TDH family. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for what?
Literally.
Seriously. We're going to take a quick break. And don't go anywhere, because Teray is going to make someone's day. I hope it's not Charles. I just can't go to the vegan burger with bacon. I'm sorry. I hold things against people. I'm joking. All right, folks. We'll be back after this break. We're going to have a daily play as well. Bermuda trivia today. Teray, don't let me down on this. Pressure. We'll be back. Stick with us.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal, cost-effective risk management cover to help protect your business. Whether it be cyber, directors and officer liability, professional indemnity, or property insurance. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our full suite of competitive corporate insurance products. At Friesenbrook, we provide insurance you can count on.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
PALS is a cancer care charity. We started 45 years ago. What started as a charity with a half-time nurse, and basically just assisting patients going home from the hospital, but patients dying at home. We now, 45 years later, have 6 nurses, a social worker, and a palliative care physician. I know a lot of people that watch the Daily Hour every day, so it's just educational. It helps you know more about specific charities or specific organizations, and kind of get the nitty-gritty as opposed to just seeing a flyer on social media or just hearing or seeing a commercial. I think it's more beneficial. Like if I'm on the radio or on TV, I'm just like telling you what I think you want to know. But you might have specific questions that I can answer directly. I think it's much better having the live engagement.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Beyond Inclusion and Christopher Bean for joining us this morning. Again, folks, if you haven't already, as you can see, I have a little special guest that came.
Yes, introduce her. Is this Miss Bella?
Bella, look. Say hi to everybody. Folks, if you haven't already, give us a like, a love, a follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. And I'm working, Bella. I'm working. Yeah. Please. All right, you gotta go because I'm working. You gotta go.
Oh my goodness! Look at her in her pink shirt.
Yeah, it says Queen of the House. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, she doesn't respect work hours. But folks, if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Thanks again to everyone at Beyond Inclusion. Also, big shout out to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and HSBC for ensuring we can have community conversations like that on a regular basis. Folks, it is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. 4 new games now available. Yes, 4 new games. We've got the taboo version, which is called Shoe By. We've got the sports edition, right? We've got the crossword puzzle, and we've got the coloring book for the young ones, okay? So you want to get there. So make sure you follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Teray, are you ready? It's Bermuda Trivia question.
Let's go.
All right. Teray, audience.
Come through, audience.
The Bermuda Stock Exchange was established in what year?
2000 and 1994, 1981, 1984. I don't know.
Ready? Not 1983. Of course, Stacey Ann Brown. It was
1971. What does Stacey Ann Brown do for work? Like, is she the guardian of our universe? Because quite literally, she is always getting.
Let me tell you what she
I
does.
love it for her.
Let me tell you what she does. She has Bermuda Trivia, all editions probably. She has Bermuda Trivia Volume 2. Yeah. You all better get your Bermuda Trivia. See, Bermuda Trivia actually started from the Daily Hour because we would ask the Daily Play question and we realized Bermudians love Bermuda. They don't know much about what they love. You know? It just reminds me of relationships. We love our partners, but do we really know them? You know? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But folks, T, you want to do the giveaway now or you want to wrap it up then give it away?
Let's wrap up and then give it away. Let's wrap up and then do a giveaway. But Stacey Ann Brown, like, she is just on fire.
Yeah.
If I see her at a quiz night, I'm laughing with her.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to ask her the lottery numbers. But final thoughts on this morning's discussion and obviously the conversation with Chris.
This morning's discussion, I think, was a really important one, and I think one that we will unfortunately continue to have. I know Maya did a lot of work previously about sharing nudes, and was integral to that conversation. And I just really want to see men pick up this conversation, particularly about masculinity, conceptions of masculinity, feelings, emotional beings. Like, I know that there are a lot of organizations who do work around this, like Teleconnect, the Family Center, what's that other one? Mask, which is counseling for men. Like, I really want to see a movement around this, because I think that men in particular are the ones that are needed in this conversation, and quite frankly, often missing from this conversation, right? Like, I hear a lot of women talk about it, but I'm like, at some point, the men are the ones that need to be discussing it, and need to be actioning it, for themselves and for the community. So I really want to see this develop. As it relates to the violence itself, I think it was horrendous, and I want to see justice, due process. I don't really care if that's not the full story. What I saw is what I saw. Like, we can add context, I guess later, but in any instance, violence is never okay, right? Ever. There are channels that you can rectify and get justice for other things, but this type of vigilante justice is never okay in my eyes. And it was really, really disappointing to see that being shared, but also see the discourse that followed it. So that's that. But for Beyond Inclusion, what an excellent initiative. How important is the work that they're doing? I mean, I think I'm like you, Jamel, in that I wouldn't have considered the fact that most people, or people with needs, are only traveling most times for medical care, for respite care. And these are things that I have been taken for granted, I feel. Leisure travel. I just talked about being out of town for the weekend and then coming back. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about a ramp that's there, a ramp that's not there. So I think it's just important for Bermudians to be thinking about privilege and access in ways that we haven't. So shout out to Beyond Inclusion. I know that they're going to get all the support that they need by December 31st. I'm willing it for even before December 31st, because initiatives like these need very little advertisement, because the work speaks for itself. So great job to Chris, who is like a close friend of mine. I love him. I think he's great. And Rebecca and Brianna, I haven't met them personally, but if this is their baby, then I think it speaks volumes to who they are as people. So yeah, I just encourage everyone to support if they can, which includes sharing, donate a passport if you can. And yeah, I'm looking forward to them taking flight.
Yeah, indeed. I echo everything you said on both fronts. I just want to say this. I'm just going to keep doing this every time we're on, emphasizing what you said. Men, it's on us. It's really on us. We have to step up in these spaces. Vigilante justice, comes with consequences.
Yeah.
Don't let that be lost on any of us. There are consequences that come with it. There are processes. Sometimes I don't like them. Most times I don't like them. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But there's consequences when we do things in our own. And so I just want people, I saw a post a few months ago when we had some murders in Bermuda, so close to one. And someone posted, before you go out and allow your emotions or in anger and do something, go and sit in your bathroom for 24 hours. Because that's what it's going to be like sitting in a cell. Not for 24 hours, but for the rest of your life. And I just want people to consider that. I love my freedom and the privilege that I have to be able to go as I choose.
Yes.
I'm human too. I get mad and angry. But I understand that if I don't manage that, and I don't have conversations with someone to help me through, that I too will be either a victim or a perpetrator. So I just want us to be a bit more conscious of the things that we do and how we respond and react more than anything. As far as the conversation beyond inclusion. I don't have much more to say outside of thank you. You opened my eyes this morning to some things that I didn't even consider. And I really hope, I tell people no donation's too small, and you all know how I feel about charity. I believe, but this is empowerment. This isn't charity.
Yep.
This is empowerment.
Literally empowerment.
Really, really hope that each and every one of us can contribute in some way so that these young people can have a different experience when traveling beyond. Teray, let's do some giveaways.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
This is going to be for Lindo's, $50 Lindo's gift card.
In this economy, that is magic. All right. Let me give it a good shake.
All right. Hold on. Before you shake it, Charles H. Jackson says, should I be offended that Jamal doesn't want me to win a prize? No, I want you to win. I was joking. He says, also, until you've tried real bacon on a veggie burger, don't knock it. I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you.
All right.
All right. What we got, T? What we got? Shaking, bacon. All right. Who we got?
I'm going to be unbiased because I was going to say I really want someone to win, but.
Okay. What's the email?
The email is thehygienist1995@gmail.com.
Ah, I think that's Butler. I think that's that might be Ms. Butler. So she is our second winner, because we already, I think Dr. Zena Dawn Trump was our first. So the hygienist, congratulations, folks. We have many more to go. So again, we've got prizes, medical health, people's pharmacy. We've got all the Bermuda trivia games in one. Yes, Angeline says Rosalind Famous. Yes.
Oh, yes, congratulations.
Yes. Mark, hey, look, this is why everybody else is doing it. So you all don't blame me, because Cousin Mark says my name should be first in the bag. I filled mine out first. Yeah. Hey, look, folks. See, you got some daily inspiration for the loser. I mean, not the losers, the people who didn't win as well.
Listen, you guys, if you didn't win, this is happening all week. So you have to tune in and maybe you'll win again. It's not me. This is fate. I just put the names in a bag and pulled it out. Listen,
yep.
I don't know who you can send your request to, but it's not me, please. But yes.
Yeah.
I have some daily inspiration. This is from the book, How to Be the Love You Seek by Dr. Nicole LaPera.
Okay.
And I think it's really on brand with our conversation that we had today. It says, relationships have always been essential to human survival. Our bodies and brains are programmed to seek out connection, yet these vital bonds are often at the root of our deepest suffering. While our hearts are primed for compassion, connection, Our nervous systems are wired for threat and negativity. For decades, leading relationship advice has maintained that successful relationships require a specific compromise, that we must change our authentic expression to better meet the needs of others and vice versa. It may sound reasonable in theory, but this approach is nothing less than a recipe for a lifetime of resentment. After all, it is our heart's innate capacity to love that is the true source of all healing. When we tap into our authentic power, we can become the love we seek.
Oh, man, you're making me want to hug everybody right now.
Go do it. Go do it. Why not?
Good. Thank you for that. Folks, don't forget, tonight, now you're going to make me have to hug people in person tonight. Come out to Hamilton Princess, 5:30, Wave of Opportunity Pitch Competition. 5 people. 5 people at $25,000 towards their business tonight, folks. So I'm looking forward to hosting and engaging the live audience. It will be streamed on the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, the BDC YouTube channel, so you can stream it on there. But looking forward to celebrating those who are bold enough and the creatives who are going out there and basically sharing their dreams and their passions with us. But folks, do not forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC for ensuring that we can do this with you on a regular basis and pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Teray Tall. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. PR is out. I love you too, Charles. Peace.